Well, hello. I'm here with Dr. Kaye Shelton. She is the creator of the Quality Scorecard, which is a Sloan-C product for program evaluation. Welcome, Kaye. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Would you like to give us a little overview of your background and who you are?
Sure. I'm Kaye Shelton. I was a dean of online programs for 13 years and love online education, and I am passionate about it. I believe that we can be so effective with it and reach so many students. And so in 2005, a colleague and I, George Saltzman, wrote a book, and we wrote about each chapter was a different issue that an administrator has to deal with, and the last chapter was supposed to be about quality, and we could not get our hands around it, and we threw the chapter away twice and finally just left it alone. And from that point on, it bugged me. How can we as programs really justify that we have a quality program? Because we as administrators, we know what we're doing really well and what we're not. But, as online educators, we've had to doubly justify that we're doing a good job, right? I mean, the traditional programs haven't had to justify as much as we've had to over these years. So I wanted some kind of metric, some kind of checklist or rubric or something that administrators could use, that we all kind of agree on the standards, and we could also kind of benchmark against each other. So in 2009, Sloan-C actually helped me get an expert panel together, and I did a Delphi study, and that is a research method where you bring experts to consensus. And so we had 43 online education administrators who, most of them, like 86%, had 9 or more years of experience in 2009. So that was a long time. And I brought them to consensus on what a quality scorecard would look like, including the scoring. So it took us 6 months, and they were such a great group. They did it because they were passionate about online education, just like I am, and they hung in there with me. All I had was like a little $25 gift card to Amazon to give them, but they helped me bring this together. And so based on their years and years and years of experience, the original scorecard was 70 unique elements that fell into 9 different categories and could help an administrator identify elements of quality within the program.
So basically, it's looking at the whole program. It's just not design or delivery, but it's everything rolled into one.
Exactly. And we get questions. I get questions like that all the time is, well, how is this different from the Cal State Chico rubric or Quality Matters or the Blackboard rubric? And it's not about that. There are some components that do look at course design and course structure, but it's more from an administrator's standpoint, not a specific faculty member or a specific course. And so if you were using a course rubric, then it would just dovetail right into the quality scorecard because it would help you on those sections. But this particular tool is for a 360-degree look from an administrator standpoint. So there's things that instructional designers never deal with, like student support, or, the administrator, somebody needs to make sure the faculty are getting trained, and there needs to be, institutional support. So it's, it was born out of a need. I would go to conferences, and my colleagues, we would all sit around and talk about how we needed something. And so I was really fortunate to have Sloan-C help me get the panel together and, really then further support its, being spread out to the community.
So we're very excited. It's the Emerging Technology Conference that we're at now, and the 2014 version just came out.
Yes, yesterday.
And so there's been a lot of buzz, and we've kept you very busy with sessions and workshops and
yes.
Poster sessions with people talking to you. What's the difference between the old version and the new version?
That's a good question. The old version had 70 indicators, and they were within the 9 categories. And the new scorecard has, based on your feedback over the last 3 years, you as administrators, all of you that have been using the scorecard over these last few years, they provided feedback on how to better improve it, where there might need some language clarity. So the new scorecard has language that's been clarified. It has maybe any potential overlap or redundancy has been eliminated. So what really, in reality, like an overview, there was an original 70. 6 were deleted or combined. and then 11 new ones have been added to address current and gaps. There was a gap in the scorecard that I always felt like needed to be addressed, was budget and financial and people resources. You know, how are you justifying that the institution's providing enough budget or enough, you have enough people resources?
So the scorecard itself is a several-page document. If I'm a Sloan-C member, there's an interactive version, right?
Right.
How does that work?
This is the best part. Sloan-C created an interactive online tool that all of the indicators are there, and you can actually self-score, and then you write a justification based on what you've scored. So you justify why you gave yourself a 3 or why you gave yourself a 2. But beyond that, then you're going to provide evidence of support or artifacts. So you're going to upload documents or screenshots or things that you're doing that can show you really deserve a 3 or a 2 on that particular indicator. So it becomes a self-study of your program, which is what we really need to be doing to look at it 360 degrees and be able to choose different parts each year and do, focus on continuous improvement.
So the scorecard is obviously a fantastic tool to really look at where you are and potentially where you might want to be.
Right.
What if I need a little bit more information, or is there something I can read about the different indicators?
Absolutely. We have a handbook that you can, if you're a Sloan-C member, you can actually download it. But if you're not a Sloan-C member, you can purchase it online, and it actually explains in further detail each of the indicators. And then with the new scorecard, we're adding a scoring rubric so that you will know, because on the scorecard you select whether you're a 0, 1, 2, or 3 points on each one. And so the scoring rubric will help you identify which of those you might be closer to.
So say that I'm someone who wants a little bit more attention or wants the chance to network with others. Is there another way for them to connect and start working on the scorecard? Like a workshop or?
Oh, absolutely. We have several online workshops a year. We have a 1 week that's kind of more of an overview, kind of get your feet wet, kind of understand the process, and then it's really more discussion based. But then we have a 3 week, and if you're really serious about implementing the scorecard at your institution, then you work with us for 3 weeks and colleagues just like yourself in Moodle, and we go through every single indicator, and then you actually do some work to where you write up a report based on your own institution and how you could make an improvement. We also do pre-conference workshops at the actual Sloan-C conferences.
So you'll be at the upcoming conferences then?
I will be in the Orlando conference.
Okay, perfect. So people could plan to come and see you then?
Yes.
Now, do you do any individual reviews?
We do, and that's really born out of, again, people asking. I wanted more authenticity behind it, and so we have trained evaluators. So if a program wanted to have a Sloan seal of quality, to know that they are a Sloan-C exemplary program, that they've scored in the upper level of the scorecard, then they would create their scorecard in the interactive tool, submit all of the artifacts and justifications, and 3 well-trained independent evaluators would go through independently of each other. They don't do it together, and reevaluate, and then they come together and agree on the score. And if you're exemplary, you will receive the seal. If you're not, you would receive a report and how you could do some improvements to then earn the seal.
So there. Let's just say that there are areas for improvement. Is there a certain time frame that they have to make those in?
Usually we want it done pretty quickly. So usually 3 to 6 months.
So if a school is doing the review and they want to use the services for the review team to go in, what are the best sort of ways for them to get started on that process? How much should they have done before they come to Sloan-C?
Well, you need to go ahead and have basically done all the indicators justified, all of your artifacts together, because at that point it's when the evaluators can actually begin. We can't help you do the scorecard. We need you to do it yourself, and then us come back and evaluate. And I actually am one of the evaluators at some of the time. But I could always put you in touch with other people that are doing the scorecard. We actually have several programs that are putting their scorecard in the interactive tool and also online, and I can get you in touch with them and give you their websites, and you can go in and take a look at those as well.
So if a school is using the scorecard and they're doing some great things with it, are there any potentials for them to win awards for that?
Yes, there are. We have effective practice here at Sloan-C, and for the Orlando meeting, so you would need to turn it in, I think, by August or something like that. You would submit your effective practice based on how you're using the scorecard, how you filled it out, how you've put it up on the web, how you've creatively demonstrated to others that you are a Sloan-C quality scorecard program. And we judge those and give out effective practice awards in the big conference.
So if I want to submit, those should be open soon for people to submit. Is there a rubric or anything for them to know what you're looking at when evaluating?
Absolutely. We provide that rubric when they submit.
And then do other people have the opportunity to see those evaluations? Like in terms of when they go to submit for the award, can other schools see what people submit?
After the fact, yes, because it becomes an open community. So we share. That's what part of the best practice is they're online, and so we can help others by sharing what we're doing.
So it's a great way then, if I'm thinking about getting started, I could go in and look at even last year's winners.
Absolutely.
Get some ideas.
Absolutely. We had 2 great winners last year, Texas State and San Jose State. And then Southern Nazarene is a good school to look at, too. They have their information out on the website.
Fantastic. Are there other things that we should know that we haven't talked about with the scorecard?
The evaluation process is $5,000, but that is really not much if you consider how much you would pay an actual consulting team to come out and do an evaluation. We don't have to come to your campus. We can do it all virtually. So that's not a lot of money if you think about it. And that really barely pays the evaluators after the time they have to spend. So it's really a win-win situation.
It definitely does take a lot of time. I mean, you get a lot of feedback from the evaluation process, so it really helps you with improving that quality piece.
Exactly. And when I was administrator myself, my school was a member of the SACS accreditation, and I used it for my review process. I had my scorecard ready, I had all my artifacts, and I used it for them to be able to see the elements of quality within my program.
This is such a great way to actually put everything together to really help people, and it does seem like the more that I've had the opportunity to talk with people, that accreditors are really looking for how are you evaluating your whole program and what are you doing. And,
exactly.
And even that self-reflection piece.
Exactly. That's right. It's really, the scorecard is really helping a lot of institutions, not only in America, but now in Latin America. We have normed a version there, and schools in Mexico and the different parts of Latin America are actually using the scorecard in Spanish, and we're looking next to maybe do a norming for Southeast Asia and Europe.
Because the Latin American scorecard is actually slightly different
as well. It's normed based on rules and governance there within each of the countries and their own culture.
And so it really was great. I mean, that was a fairly long process to actually work through and get the correct indicators that worked for them.
Mm-hmm. It was. We worked with several involved in quality online education evaluation in Latin America, and we worked several weeks, long hours, coming to agreement on what needed to be in the Latin American version. So it was a great process, though, and it's great to see the scorecard being used in so many ways.
Well, thank you so much, Kaye. I mean, you've really done so much for Sloan-C and for the broader community just to really help them. I mean, this is definitely a tool that will live on for a long time.
Well, it's my pleasure. I love what I do.
Thanks, Kaye.
Thanks.